Hey YouTube, this is Phildo for Freedom, and once again I'm making soup. Um just a little vegetable and rice. I use risotto instead of regular rice because it tends to hold up a little bit better over time. But while I was cooking this, I was thinking about this. Some of the books I use. Um, the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving is one of the best books around. It's the most, it's got a ton of information in it. It talks all about canning and you know jams and jellies and pickled stuff and tomatoes and this and that. And this is a pretty complete book. It doesn't really talk about meat or fish or game, but for your basic pickles and putting back stuff, tomatoes and soup and whatnot, this is a great book. Uh, I've also got the blue book, which is a little bit smaller, um, and it talks a little bit about seafood and meat and low sugar, low salt recipes. It's a nice little backup book. One of my absolute favorites is an old car canning book, and I believe this one is from, well, 1955, and I paid 25 cents. I paid cover price at a yard sale not too many years ago. Um, Joy of Cooking. Everybody should own this book. Um, this is a complete book for any. If you had to pick one cookbook, this would be the one to get. It's got over 4,000 recipes in it. It talks about canning as well, but mostly it's just a cookbook. But it's all courses. Um, I do make my own sausage, and this one here uh, is by this guy is a fantastic book. I use this as a chef in restaurants. On that same note, charcuterie uh, by these guys is also fantastic, and it talks about salting and smoking and curing your own meats. Um, it's a little fancier. It's a little more geared towards the high end stuff, but it's still a fantastic reference book. But the best books of all are the ones you write yourself. Your basic. I mean, I've been writing recipes for years and years, and a lot of these are restaurant recipes. I've ripped out of old books, whatever. Some of them I've stolen from other books. Some of them are printed out printouts, from whatever random website I went to. Uh, you know, some of them are pulled out of magazines. But the best cookbook is the one that you write yourself. Things that you've tried. You can make your own notes. Um, and I've got more than one of those, um, and they're all full of stuff. And part of that's from being a chef, but also a lot of that's from home, doing stuff at home. And I recommend that you have a nice library of cookbooks. Um, you don't have to go out and buy every cookbook that comes out. If you're going to buy just one, this is the one. If you're going to buy one canning book, this is probably the one you want to get. Uh, they're both a little expensive, but they're worth the money. I've used these as a chef. I've used these as just for preparedness. It's the way to be. Uh, get yourself a couple little composition books. Um, two for $1 at Walmart or wherever you shop. And every time you cook something, write notes on it. Write yourself a little recipe. Write notes on it, and you can use this stuff as reference over and over and over. But you know, it, have a couple of nice cookbooks. I don't recommend necessarily buying chef specific cookbooks. Buy some basic stuff. It tells you a lot of things. This one right here is probably the best investment I ever made as a chef. You see, 4,500 recipes, and it's true, and it breaks down every little thing here. Uh, I mean, menus, beverages, wine, beer, appetizers, menus, soups, salads, sandwiches, fruits, vegetables, pastas, whatever, and it just keeps going. It's meat and game and stuffings and fish and shellfish and sauces and breakfast stuff and pies and desserts. This is probably the best book ever. This is probably the best preserving book I've ever bought. I have 50, 60 other cookbooks, of course, as a former chef. That was something I did. But these two, recommend it. Think about it. Even just go into a bookstore and just open them up. Take a look at what you see, and you'll enjoy it. Without the internet someday, you may have to have actually open a book. And so I recommend buying a few. That's just my thoughts. Thanks, guys. Be good out there.